Oh, caring about. This is about this topic that gets to be floating around a lot, the body count. Um, and I'm referring to women when they talk about, when they refer to their, past history with other men, and how a lot of them will come out and forward and make a big deal like it's not a big deal. And I think it's time we address this, okay? Although there are so many people out there, and not just something like this, but love to talk about how you got to forget the past or quit living in the past or let go of the past. But here's the thing: it rarely ever works out that way. I don't know what it is, but things from the past have a way of always coming back to bite you. So, what things you do in the past do matter. Employers want to know about all your work history. Now me, I know I probably fail in that regard. And I'll tell you I'll give you an example. I was trying to get a job somewhere, and I was turned away because of something I did, get this, 7 years ago, and it was a friggin' volunteer job. It was a very minor thing, but I don't know, they probably didn't like me anyway, and that was their way of telling me. So, the underhanded way people reject you. But yes, so yes, the past does matter, ladies, okay? And yes, I know none of us are saints. I get it. We've all done things we're not proud of. But there's a big difference in maybe having one or two relationships that didn't work out versus a body count of 100 or more. Okay, and I don't even know. I can't even get my head around that. 100 or more? Oh my God. There was actually a time when if you had a body count more than 5, guys didn't want anything to do with you. Okay? How in the world did we get to this kind of, how did we set the bar so low? I mean, So, and if guys say anything, about how women just want to shut the door on their past and sweep it under the rug and say it doesn't matter and blah blah blah, and you should not even be worried about my past. Yes, there are other things that go along with this. Yes, yeah, and most of the time, men when they say anything, they're shut down right away. You want to know about my past, you misogynist? Yeah, it's always something like that, right? I mean, of course, they're saying you misogynist is just their way of, refusing to admit that they have a checkered past, and they think you should be just totally cool and with it. Stuff from the past. I mean, people will remember it for good reason. History has a way of repeating itself. If we don't learn from what happened in the past, we're going to repeat it over and over. And a guy hears that you got a body count of 100 or whatever, and sees you as a liability, and it's just like employers. If they see employers care about your two things mainly. They care about your experience, and they care about your work history. They do not give a shit about what school you went to. If you happen to go to a school with a reputation of a lot of prestige, they might point that out and say, oh, my sister attended Cambridge or something. But most of the time, they don't care about what school you went to. And they care about experience, but they don't want to see bad experience. What would be a good example? If you've had 50 jobs in 2 years, that would be a good example of bad experience. Because you hopped around from like a frog on a lily pad from job to job. And I know I'm not a good one to talk. I know I don't have the best track record with jobs. I know, because you've seen if you've watched any of my prior videos, so I don't want to sound hypocritical on that part. But the whole thing about bad experience, it makes me think of the 2016 debate when this is like 10 years ago when Trump was campaigning for his first term, and when he said to Hillary, yes, you got experience, but it's bad experience. You see what I mean? Good experience, maybe you were with the same guy for 5 years, and okay, that's experience, but it's a good experience. You walked away clean, you didn't have kids with a loser deadbeat, so you don't have baggage and all this stuff to unload on the next guy. Okay, that's good. Yeah, it's kind of, in ways, it's kind of nuanced, this whole thing about, the whole thing about jobs and dating. And sometimes it's not all black and white, but just something to think about. So I'm losing my train of thought. Or it's derailed, I guess. I don't know. It's almost 6:30 Central Time. Yeah, the sun's gonna go down in about, sun starts to go down about 8, a little bit after 8. But I know that's neither here nor there. But that's pretty much, this whole thing about experience. It's nuanced sometime, but there's nothing nuanced about having been with 100 guys or more, and especially if you're 25, like that, 25 years old, that young. So, yeah, there's always variables. I used to think for a while, I used to wonder about how much lack of experience had in dating could factor in too, when the shoe's on the other foot. I used to think, I don't know if this is still true. So if you're a millennial or younger, I'd like to hear your thoughts. But I can remember a time, if you were over the age of 25 and never been married, you went into that category that leftover. And but if you'd been married before, that would usually look better because it signaled that you've been taken off the shelf. But if you were, over a certain age, never married, met, she or he's been on the shelf too long. I think that's why a lot of people, they see a past divorce and they see that as experience or death of a spouse. Same thing. So, okay. Well, that's it. And have a good evening, wherever you are, afternoon, evening, morning. Okay, I am out.